Hello, my name is Terry and I am with Gateway to Counseling, and I'm going to take off my glasses here. As you can see, Gateway to Counseling, and I wanted to talk today about a topic that someone actually came to me and said, Terry, can you please make a video about this topic? And the topic is parenting your parents. I've done various videos on the topics of, parenting children, parenting adolescents, parenting your adult children. And it didn't occur to me that we probably needed this topic as well, parenting your parents. I have over 25 years of experience working in this field of psychology, and there is a growing, increasing number of adults who are parenting their parents. And I want to commend you. If you're watching this video and you fit this category, I want to commend you for what you're doing. I think it is so extremely difficult to be in this role. Let me break it down to you. So, when you start out, you become a parent of a baby. And you have that baby and you hold that baby and you love that baby. And that baby counts on you for everything, right? They know nothing. They're brand new in the world and they know nothing except what you teach them, right? And then what they start to be exposed of because of what you allow them into their environment. And so you have so much control over that situation. And then, of course, they continue to grow and they get to be about, when they get to be a 2 and they start exploring on their own. And then they enter into elementary school and you enter into a new phase. And then, dear God, they become adolescents. And then they really start to think on their own, and their, abstract thinking is all developed. And no longer do they just count on you, right? And we all know that if you've been a parent of an adolescent. And then you move into this phase where they go off to college or even, complete college and they're on their own, but they financially are not completely on their own, right? And so sometimes you have to help them. And I think we see the biggest part of that when your little girl or your son gets married and you're helping to pay for this wedding, but they don't want you to have any say over what's going on. And so you have some control, but not a lot of control. And they become parents. And then they have their own children. And that enters into a whole nother phase of life of parenting for you, because now you're trying to help your adult child be a good parent to your grandchildren. That's very tough. But the hardest is being a parent to your parent. And the reason is because your parents are now adults. And they know they're adults. And they remember how they parent you. And they used to hold you and wipe your behind. And I don't care what stage your parent may be, and they might have Alzheimer's. They could have anything going on with them. And they are going to remember that they are the adult and they are the parent. And so I hear lots of stories of parents who are being caregivers to their parents complain and just kind of vent. They love their moms and dads and they will do anything for them. But the biggest thing I hear is, mom is so stubborn. Mom won't listen. Mom won't do this. Mom won't do that. Mom thinks she can live on her own, but she just fell last week. Dad thinks he can still drive, but this just happened. Mom's living on her own, but I walked into the house. She was in the bed asleep, and there was something cooking on the stove, and she had forgotten completely about it. And guys, what do you do? What do you do in that situation? Because no adult wants to admit that they can't control their own life anymore. No one wants to admit that they need help and that they can't be self-sufficient and independent when they are 60, 70, 80 years old and they've been sufficient, independent for so many years, since they were probably sometimes as young as 16. We know some people who have gotten married when they were only 16 years old, and now they're in their 80s, and you're trying to tell them that you're going to tell them what to do. And so that doesn't go over very well. So what do you do? What do you do? You handle this with kid gloves. There are some things that I want you to see this like a teenager, because there are some battles that you need to get into that just needs to happen, and you need to put your foot down because they can't make those kind of decisions anymore. Let me give you an example. So my grandmother wanted to continue to live on her own when she was alive, and I remember her being in the hospital at one point, and she's sitting in her bed, and there was, a little table right there by the bed, and she asked me to give her some peppermints. Old people like peppermints. And so she asked me to give her some peppermints, and I looked down and I said, no, you get your own peppermints. And she got mad at me, and she said, no, I want some peppermints. I said, but you want to live on your own. If you want to live on your own, then you can get your own peppermints. And she just looked at me and she dropped her head down. And I had to hug her, and, she was upset. And my point was, if you can't reach for your own peppermints on the nightstand right next to your bed, you can't live on your own. And I had to say, I will do whatever it takes, but you can't live on your own. And so that's what our family had to decide. Sometimes you have to be the parent and say, no, this is the decision that has to be made for your safety, because I love you. I am concerned about you. You are not safe living here by yourself. So let's explore our options. And then there's going to be things like my other grandmother, she wasn't eating. You guys know how this is. They stopped eating as much. And so she wasn't eating as much. And so I was there visiting, and she said she wanted to eat some barbecue. And my aunt, who was taking care of her, said, Mama, I didn't cook barbecue today. We're having this for dinner. And she said, no, I want barbecue. Well, I'm the grandchild. So I said, my mom, I'm going to get you some barbecue, right? Because I didn't care that she wanted barbecue. What I cared about was that she ate. And she didn't eat a lot. She didn't. But she did eat. And so pick your battles is what I'm saying. I think that is the most important part, is to pick your battles. Don't fight over stuff it doesn't matter. The ground rule is, are they safe? If they are safe, that's the most important thing. Everything else we can work around, okay? We don't want them driving if they can't drive very well anymore, or can't see well anymore. Those kind of things. But this is what I want to end on. You are now a parent again. You've raised your child through infancy, elementary school, junior high, got them through high school, got them through college. They're now out the door. You thought that you were free and that you had your whole life. And you were ready to start traveling and doing your own thing, and you're heading into retirement, and bam, mom or dad needs you. And guys, I've heard the stories of, a man or son who had to wipe his mom's behind because she could not do that anymore. And so that was hard for him. It was hard for her. You need support too, okay? That's why we're here, Gateway to Counseling. We are here to support you through the fact that you're having to parent again. and you didn't think you were going to have to do this. And I'm going to say this too. When you finally accept that you have to parent your parent, and then that parent dies, your whole world changes again. It all changes again. I've gone through this with clients. I've gone through this with relatives. I've gone through this with friends. And the biggest thing that I hear is, I wake up, I'm so used to taking care of mom or dad, and they're gone. And what do I do now? What do I do with myself? How do I spend my days? And there's this loss. We are here for you. We're here for the whole grieving process. This is a process. And I don't want you to beat yourself up about it. I don't want you to ever feel guilty about what you're doing. You are doing the very best that you can with what you have. And we're here to support you. You know, we're your objective friend. So if you need our help, please, we are just a click away at www.gateway2counseling.com. Enter our gates for a brighter tomorrow where you are in control. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.